What's up, everybody? This is Matt Parrino from NYup and Syracuse.com coming to you from One Bills Drive. I'm in the media room here, and a very interesting first round is in the books, and I wanted to go live here on Facebook, talk to you guys if you have any questions. Want to talk about this draft. It played out pretty much as I think most Bills fans were hoping. Ed Oliver, longtime prognosticated top 3 or 4 pick, especially back during the college football season, falls to the Bills at number 9. Brandon Beane pulls the trigger. Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane were just out at the podium a little while ago talking about the first round pick, and there's a lot of excitement within the building here at One Bills Drive about adding a guy like Ed Oliver into the fold. Now that Kyle Williams retired, they add a new, very young 3 technique. Sean McDermott said that he's planning for him to bring energy. He's planning for him to be a fit, a guy that can cause disruption in the run game and the pass game. And I think that's something that, the Bills really wanted to add at the top of this draft, is to find one of the elite defensive playmakers in this draft. There was various players mocked to them at different times of the process. You go back and you think about Mississippi State edge rusher Montez Sweat at times. There were reports earlier this evening. Twitter was a very fun place to be before this draft, as there was some reports that the Bills were talking to the Jets about potentially moving up to the number 3 pick and interest in Quinnen Williams out of Alabama. Brandon Beane said that it was a lot of smoke, and there were conversations, but it never got into the place where things were serious. And they had Ed Oliver ranked very high on their board. They were hoping that a couple quarterbacks went in the first couple picks. That ended up happening. Daniel Jones goes to the Giants in a massive shocker after Kyle. Maybe not a massive shocker, but a shocker nonetheless. After Kyler Murray goes number 1 overall to the Arizona Cardinals, which was expected for a while, but. Chad Stokes is in the chat. How you doing, Chad? I want DK Metcalf, wide receiver, round 2. Hope it does. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. Stick with me. I still want to my takeaways from Ed Oliver here. I mean, guys, this is a big deal. You go back a couple drafts. Shaq Lawson, a guy that has come on late, but was a bit of a disappointment as a defensive lineman taken early in the draft 4 years ago. Ed Oliver has the potential to be an all-pro defensive tackle, and I think that for what they're trying to run here in Buffalo with Sean McDermott and the system that he's built with that he's brought in with and implemented with Leslie Frazier, this position is a very important position to fill in that defense. It's going to open up so many opportunities for pass rushers like Jerry Hughes, Lorenzo Alexander, on the other side Trent Murphy if he's healthy, or if they get a pass rusher in this draft. Something we'll talk about. Jalen Ferguson still on the board. And we'll fast forward a little bit. We'll come back to Oliver if you guys have any questions about that. Again, if you're just joining in, Matt Parrino here, NYupSyracuse.com. I'm here at One Bills Drive. The Bills have selected Ed Oliver as their first overall draft pick at number 9. Fell to them there. But with the first round in the books, there are some real notable names looking ahead to tomorrow and rounds 2 and 3 that should be of interest to Bills fans. Chad Stokes brings up DK Metcalf. He's a guy that's fallen all the way out of the first round after the viral pictures, the muscle pictures, and the unbelievable performance at the Combine where he ran that scintillating 40-yard dash that was shared across social media. Jawan Taylor is a guy that was going in mock drafts throughout the draft process, was going in the top 10 of mock drafts, right tackle out of Florida. He is still on the board. His stock fell a little bit after it was reported that he was dealing with maybe some injury concerns, might not be ready. This is the big one, though. Cornerback, LSU cornerback Greedy Williams, a guy that his stock has plummeted over the course of the last few months, but by some accounts is the top cornerback in this draft. And you look at the defensive side of the ball, and you look at the cornerback position, and you have Tre'Davious White, you had rookie Levi Wallace that really came on last year. The Bills brought in E.J. Gaines and Kevin Johnson, 2 veterans, to push Levi Wallace. So you figure they're probably set at that position, but to add a guy like Greedy Williams that has the skill set that he does, A few knocks on him, not the most physical guy, not a great tackler, but those are things that can be coached. This is one of the elite players in this draft at that position, and I think you follow what Brandon Beane has said this whole process. He is going to take the best player available on the board. Greedy Williams still there, 7 picks to go in round 2 before the Bills pick at number 40, and that's a name definitely to keep an eye on. A couple more names I'm going to throw out there. Dalton Reisner, right tackle out of Kansas State. I think the Bills are going to love this guy. He was at the Senior Bowl. I was able to meet him, talk to him for a few minutes. Best friends with Harrison Phillips, defensive tackle for the Bills. And he's a guy that just screams process. Hard worker, kind of nasty, mean streak, position flex. He could be your new right tackle. He could play on the inside of the line, projecting as a guard or a center. And you go back to last year's line and, John Miller at right guard, gone. Ryan Groy, center, gone. Jordan Mills, right tackle, gone. So, the Bills have brought in a lot of pieces on that offensive line and through free agency, 6 new players, but a lot of potential depth guys. And a guy like Dalton Reisner could be a starting option. Definitely a name to keep an eye on. A few more. Byron Murphy, cornerback out of Washington. Keep an eye on him because Pro Football Focus released their final mock draft today. And Murphy was one of the guys that they had Murphy mocked to the Bills at number 9 in the first round. Said he was one of the best zone scheme cornerbacks in this draft, and he could still be on the board when the Bills pick at 40 after grabbing Ed Oliver in the first round. So very interesting there. A couple more wide receivers of note. Deebo Samuel projects out of South Carolina. He projects as a slot guy or an outside guy, can do kind of a little bit of everything. Probably one of the best route runners in this draft, and he still could be on the board. A.J. Brown from Ole Miss, DK Metcalf's teammate. That could be a decision that the Bills have to make if those two are still on the board. Which one is better? I know Joe Buscaglia from Channel 7, Buffalo Bills beat reporter there, loves A.J. Brown. He really likes to study the wide receiver position. He projects A.J. Brown being a better pro than DK Metcalf, so I think that's interesting as well. And a couple more names. Rock Ya-Sin, cornerback from Temple. He is a former wrestler, which I think Sean McDermott will like, and one of the elite corners in this league. Another name to keep an eye on. This, by all accounts, I put out my grade for the first round draft pick on Ed Oliver. And by most accounts, this is an absolute home run for Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott. They fill a hole that was left by Kyle Williams after adding 14 of 18 free agents on the offensive side of the ball. The first round they go big on the defensive side. Huge headline grabbing move. A guy that could be a stud, a staple on your defense for the next 10 seasons or so. And it's an exciting time. We'll be back tomorrow. So much coverage to come. The Bills still have 9 selections in the 2019 NFL Draft in the next 6 rounds. We'll have coverage over at NYup and Syracuse.com. As always, guys, thank you so much for always checking out all of our stuff, joining us on here. I know it's late, but I wanted to do a post first round wrap up here on Facebook Live. We'll come back tomorrow and do a little bit more. Leave your questions, comments, concerns right on this thread, and we'll hit them again tomorrow too if you'd like. All right, guys. Congratulations on Ed Oliver in the first round. I know most of you, that's what you wanted. And we'll see you back here tomorrow, Friday, for more NFL draft coverage, Buffalo Bills. Have a great night, guys.